Hello everybody, welcome to day one of the 12 days of Christmas inspiration and giveaways. Every Friday starting today, the 22nd of September, up until Friday the 8th of December, I will be sharing a new Christmas project, hopefully along with a video like today, just to inspire you and give you some ideas in the lead up to Christmas. And of course I mentioned giveaways, so if you continue watching, I will let you know what the giveaway is today and how you can enter to win it. Today I thought I would start off simple with a Christmas card. I've chosen the Peace on Earth stamp set. This is one of our older stamp sets, and I've combined it with the flower from Flower Power 1, and the little trio of dots is from Rustic Wreath. Anyway, so I will now get to making the card, showing you how I did it, and hopefully the video won't be too long and you'll be able to keep up with my steps. So I started with trimming a piece of white cardstock to 10.5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres. It's unusual for me to make a square card. I always tend to go for your standard sort of A2 size of card. But I decided that the Peace on Earth stamp set lends itself lovely to a little mini square card. So in the Peace on Earth stamp set, you get 2 doves that are mirror image, like I've used here on my card. You get this lovely foliage sprig, quite modern, and you get 5 different sentiments. There's rejoice in the season, Christmas blessings, peace on earth, season's greetings, and joyeux Noel. And you get 2 little sort of like olive branch sprigs as well. So I started with stamping the foliage with my card. So before I came on, you might see I added a little pencil dot just to show me where the middle of my card is. I often do this just to help me line up where I want my image to be centered. Obviously I've grabbed my Misty, my stamping tool here, just to assist me, because it will help me stamp the other sprig. So I've just placed it where I want it. I put a little piece of removable adhesive on the back of my card. It's something that I do automatically, along with using the magnets. This just helps it stay in place a little bit easier. I'm using Concord and 9th Parsley ink, but you can use any type of dye-based ink or even pigment ink if you wanted to. I just love this colour, and I'm just tapping it on, and then I'm gonna stamp. Sometimes I like to repeat stamp in case I haven't got a certain area, so the Misty just makes this super easy, as you just ink again and then stamp. And then all I'm going to do is remove my magnets, turn my card round, and then it's perfectly positioned to stamp the other sprig. Now, in the good old days, we used to use a very manual stamping tool. I don't know if any of you remember it, with like a T bar to position. I don't miss them days, and that one's come out all right, but because I've repeat stamped it, the bottom one is a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna stamp again. And there we go. So that is the sprig. I'm just going to clean my stamp with a stamp chamois. I always keep it damp by my work surface so I can just clean my stamps as I go along. It just makes things a little bit easier. Pigment inks are really easy to clean off stamps. If you have pigment, they can be a little bit more adhesive to your stamps, so you might need to use warm soapy water, and I use a really soft toothbrush to clean mine. Now I'm going to go ahead and just place the doves inside the sprigs, just mirroring each other. I'm just sort of lining this top wing with this leaf here and the same with there, just so, and lining the beaks up, sort of eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it is a handmade card after all. And I'm just going to use black ink. I'm using my favourite VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm just going to stamp as shown. And again, I'm just going to double stamp it. It's quite a fine line of these doves. So I'm just going to stamp again just to make it a little bit more defined, because I'm going to go in once it's dry with a two-way glue pen and add some glitter. I love glitter on a Christmas card. If I can incorporate it some way, I will. So there are the doves. Now, as you can see on the card I did here, I've used the solid flower from Flower Power 1. In the stamp set you get the solid and the outline version and a little trio of flowers in the same design. I decided to use the solid version. It's got a very poinsettia feel about it, and yeah, I just think it pairs lovely on a Christmas card. So while my doves are drying, I'm going to stamp my sentiment actually first as well. But while my stamps are drying, I'm going to then show you the trick I use for stamping the flower. So with the sentiment, I'm going to stick with the same Peace on Earth sentiment, just because it fits lovely inside of the doves here. And again, I'm just eyeballing it just to fit inside. You can sort of line it, make sure it lines up with the lines if you want to be perfect. And again, I'm just using the black Nocturne ink. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry. So that's that. So I'll just move that out of the way, and I'm done with using my stamping platform as well. So we'll go to the next step. So the Flower Power stamps, numbered 1 to 6, come with coordinating dies, which makes it super easy for cutting out. Even though I am a lover of fussy cutting, if you know me, I do love a bit of fussy cutting, but I know everyone doesn't. So I'm using Concord and 9th Poppy ink for this, and I'm just taking my stamp and just checking. Sometimes I take my ink to my stamp, and sometimes if it's a smaller stamp I do this. I've just got a little offcut of white card, and I'm just stamping the flower, and I'm going to do it twice. So this card is a bit of much of a variation of a few that I've made in the past, which you can see on the Uniko Pinterest page. If you search for Uniko Peace on Earth, it will pop up with some samples using this set. So I've stamped them there. So when I made my first card, when I die cut the flowers, it created a die cut negative. This is just a really easy way of making sure that you get your die lined up. You can eyeball it sometimes, but just to make sure that you get a nice even white edge around the flower. It's just as easy to create from a bit of scrap card to start with, to create this negative well. So I've got my trusty die cut machine next to me today, and I'm just going to place this down, and then you can just sit your die in the well. You can use another bit of tape if you wanted to, just to make sure it stays in place, but this one should stay, and then you just run it through to die cut, and then we're going to just repeat the process. And if you see, it just creates a really nice even edge for die cutting. And then we're just going to repeat the process here. Sometimes I use a fresh negative to line up, because the more you die cut the same one, it can get a bit distorted, but this should be all right. And again, I'm just going to sit my die in, put my top platform on and run it through. And it's lovely to have these dies back in stock this week. They have been out of stock for a little while. Apologies for that. So if you've been waiting for them to come back in stock, they are now available. I realised that there is no die to match Flower Power 7 or 8, so keep your eyes peeled for them coming soon, hopefully. So I'll bring this back over. Now in Rustic Wreath, which I've used a few times, it's another one of our older Christmas stamp sets. There's a little trio of berries in the bottom corner, and I just used that for the centre of my poinsettias, and I just stamped it using the same black ink and just eyeballing it where I want it. You could just use a black fine liner to add the dots, but it's a feature that I put in quite a few of my stamp sets. I love little accent dots. You could use Nouveau drops as well, or even enamel dots. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glitter to the doves. I'm using some Stampin' Up glitter. It's a nice fine glitter. It does get everywhere, but it does add a beautiful sparkle. I've just got this two-way glue pen. I do need to get myself a new one which has got a slightly finer tip to it. But I'm just going in and colouring inside the lines. This is why I wanted the stamp image just to dry a little, so it didn't smudge when I added the glue. Now this glue stays tacky for a little while, so you've got plenty of time to colour both of the doves before it dries out. And the fine glitter, it doesn't add too much bulk either to your card. which is good for mailing, especially at Christmas time when we have a lot of cards to send. I think this is the longest part of this card, is just colouring with a fine glue. But the results will be worth it. So today's giveaway. Today I am going to give away a £15 gift certificate to spend in store. This can be spent on anything. It doesn't have to be spent on Christmas products or the products I'm using today. So the winner will receive a gift certificate for the value of £15. To enter the giveaway, there's various ways of entering. One, you can comment on this video on YouTube. The other way is to comment on any of the social media I share this card on, so Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, the blog, because I'll be blogging it as well. So if you left a comment on all of the social medias, you have more chances to win. Now I'm going to be announcing the winners in a blog post sometime after the 8th of December, so probably the week after, so I'll announce all the winners at once. So I hope you like the sound of that prize. Each prize is going to be slightly different. There might be more gift certificates, there might be stencils, there might be stamps, there might be dies. You'll just have to come back every Friday and find out. So I have these little tidy trays. I think they were by Judikins, and I've had them absolutely years. I've got a few of them. They're just so handy for sprinkling on your glitter or your embossing powder or whatever you're using. And it keeps the mess to a little bit of a minimum. Obviously with glitter and embossing powder it does get everywhere, but that's part of the fun, isn't it, the mess. So there is the glittered doves. So I'm just going to add a little bit of double-sided tape to each of the backs of these poinsettias and then adhere them to my card. Now I like cutting my double-sided tape off the roll. People laugh at my OCD ways, but I find it easier if it's cut just to then use my nail to pick and peel the back off. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm trying to line up the middle of the flower with the line of the foliage. She carefully does it. And then put this one here. So I'm just going to use a pencil eraser just to get rid of the little pencil mark that I had there. And then I'm going to put double-sided on the back as well. So I use double-sided. A lot of people will use glue. It's just personal preference at the end of the day. I find glue sometimes can warp a card, and I just find double-sided tape easier. You can get the roller permanent adhesives that come in these, but I do find them a little bit more pricier than double-sided tape, which is quite an inexpensive tool to purchase. So I'm just going round. In the past I'd usually leave a bit of double-sided and overhang, but I've got less fussy about being perfect. Now I've already pre-cut a piece of red cardstock. This is Concordant 9th Poppy cardstock that goes and matches perfectly with the ink. And I'm just going to line up with a small border. So this red piece of card is 11 by 11 centimeters. And there we have it. And then when I am about to send it to someone, I will cut an 11 by 22 centimeter piece of card out of white and score, and then I just adhere it to the top. It does add a little sort of 1-2 millimeters thickness to your card for posting, but I find making my cards on this flat bank, sort of blank, there's less wastage if you were to make a mistake. Say you were going to dropped your ink pad or something, where if you'd used your blank big piece of folded card and then made a mistake, you wasted. I found that I've wasted more in the past. So plus a lot of my cards don't always make it to being sent out because I use them as samples at shows. But doing videos means that I'm making 2, so I can actually send some this year that I've made. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enter the giveaway. As I say, the prize today is a £15 gift certificate. Please comment on any of the social medias that you see this card on for your chance to win. The more you comment, the more chances you have. And I hope that you enjoy the next 12 weeks and the inspiration that I share using old products and new products. I look forward to seeing you if you are coming to Lincoln on the 1st of October. I will be there. There is a make and take if you want to secure your place on either the morning session or the afternoon session. The tickets are available on the website. Thank you for watching today. See you soon.